So in the last video we used a class that allowed us to create multiple instances of it in a business rule, and then we learned that the business rules weren't all firing because we did not have an instance of that object created. So to do that we need to create a fact creator. So if you do a Google on business rule fact creator, that'll take you to this MSDN site called a walkthrough creating a fact creator, and we'll use it as an example as we start writing some code. So we're going to go create another class here in the same directory. So file, new project. This will be a class library, and this will be called my fact creator, my lone fact creator. And that sounds good. So now to get the specifications of what interfaces we need to do, we're going to go back to this website here and just scroll down. We don't have to read all this. What you're looking for is right here. Your public class is going to implement iFactCreator. And notice you're going to have a using and a reference here. So back to our C# code, we'll replace this, and we're going to have to say using Microsoft Rule Engine and System XML probably as well. And to get that to compile, we're going to have to make a reference again. So I think right here it says where to go get your reference. So you're going to go to C Program Files, Microsoft BizTalk Server, and then you're going to grab Microsoft Rule Engine. So that will be over here on Add Reference. Click Browse, go to that directory, and then look for Microsoft. Okay, let's double check it again. Microsoft dot Rule Engine. I know we found it here before, but it might be in another directory. They may have given us the wrong name there. Okay, so the moral of the story is don't trust the Microsoft MSDN websites. It's under Common Files, at least on Windows 2003. Then you go to Microsoft BizTalk, and there's Microsoft Rule Engine.dll. Okay, so now we'll hopefully trust them for the rest of their article here. So there's some C# tricks here. If you right-click on this iFactCreator and then click Implement Interface, it will help you to automatically build the classes you need. So let's go do that. Okay, so there it built our routines that we need. Except I didn't need to click the explicit one. I should have just clicked the other one. So let's see what difference it does here. If we do this, implement interface, it's about the same. So we have create facts and get fact types, and both of them return arrays. One is an array of objects and the other is an array of types. So back to our instructions here. Add a public constructor as shown below. Okay, so public constructor, let's say here public, and then we just create the same name here. Okay, we're not going to call ours PO Fact Creator, we're going to call ours Lone Fact Creator. So our constructor would just be that. And the constructor does need to have the curly braces and no semicolon. Remove the lone statement in the create facts method. The lone statement. Okay, the lone statement right now is throw exception. So we don't want to throw an exception. It says this operation is not implemented because we're about to implement it, right? And then it says add the following code. So in this case, let's read through what they're going to say here. Add the following code to the create facts method to create a typed XML document. And then add the following code to create an array of facts with the typed XML only as a fact. Return the facts array from the create facts method. So in our case though, we don't want to create facts from an XML document. We want to create a fact from our loan object. So we want to do a similar logic here, except we want to use our loan. Now let's go down to the types. To return an array of types containing the type of blah 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 blah. Okay, so let's go back to our code here. We need to say my class, or see, loan. I trouble remembering what my loan's called. We haven't made a reference to my loan now. So now we have to go over here and add a reference to so I skipped a few levels there. I'm going to go to loan processing, my loan class, my bin, my debug, and there's my loan class. So here I should be able to say my loan class dot loan loan 1 equals new loan. So now we can set the fields like amount, loan 1 dot interest rate equals 6%, number of payments equals 360, and again we'll just temporarily set the monthly payment to -1. So now looking back to their website, what we need to do is insert this as a fact. So we need to do something like this logic right here. So we're going to say an array of object facts equals new object with one element in it. Then the first fact in that array, instead of being a strongly typed, instead of being a typed XML document, we want that to be loan 1. And then return facts. Now the second routine is returning the type of what it is you're sending back. So in their example, they were sending back a type of typed XML document. In our case, we're sending back a type of loan. Sorry, so let me copy these 3 lines of code, and we're going to insert that down here in place of this throw exception. So here again we're creating an array of t, which is going to have a length of 1 element in the array. So element 0 of that array t is going to be a type of, and that's where we need to put our class name right here. And then we return t. So let's build this. And it's successful. So now again, I'll go off the video, I'm going to give it a strong name, and I'm going to put it in the GAC. Okay, so I've done the rebuild after assigning the strong key name to it. And here's my GAC. I'm going to copy it to the GAC. And now we want to go back to our rule composer, and we want to add the fact creator here. Now we may have to restart, we may not have to, we'll find out in just a second whether we have to restart this business rule composer or not. So I'm looking for something like my fact creator, my loan fact creator. There it is. We click OK, and that's the class we want to call. Now before we test this again, let's kind of resanitize our data. So we're going back to loan processor, and we have this file called loan2. So I just want to make sure that we don't do anything non-obvious here. So see, last time we called this, it had a computed payment of 0. I want to reset that back to -1. And I think everything else in this file is probably okay. Just spot checking a few things. Okay. So that's sample loan 2. Now in the business rule composer, we're going to add that sample loan 2. We have our fact creator, and now we're going to do test. Whoa, it's some real nice message. Object so-and-so and so-and-so has been disconnected or does not exist at the server. Well, I'm going to try to close and reopen Business Rule Composer and see if that solves that problem. If it doesn't, I'll have to go do some offline research. So this is attempt number 2 to do the test policy. And we didn't get that really weird error, which is good. And now we're going to go back and look at our sample 2 file and see if it got the correct monthly payment or not. So there's sample loan 2 loaded in the browser. Scroll to the bottom and ta-da! We have $1,199.10 plus some fractional cents. So what that showed, just to kind of recap in this video, was that we could run an orchestration, which is right here, and we could create an instance of an object, and we can pass that instance of an object to the business rule engine right here as an object name, loan1 of type myClass.loan. But when we are testing in the business rule composer and you do a right-click test policy, you have to add another special .NET class called a FactCreator to be able to insert that data into the test environment here. And so that's a FactCreator. So let's review one thing here. We've talked about fact retrievers and fact creators. Can you think about what the difference is between those? A fact creator, as we just demonstrated, is to create objects from a class that is not static, whereas a fact retriever is specified down here in the properties window for a specific policy. The fact retriever is similar in that it implements an interface, but what it does, it contains code that, for instance, retrieves data connections from the database and asserts those into the business rule engine. And the fact retriever happens not only in the test environment, but when the orchestration actually runs. Whereas the fact creator that we saw here on the test policy is only used within the business rule composer environment. It's not used at runtime in the orchestration. So that concludes this video on fact creators and using instances of classes.